Today we are building a smokeless fire pit using clean air technology. Where are we going to put the fire pit, Kentley?
We are gonna camp.
This is where we're going to put the campfire?
Yep, and this is where we are gonna camp.
Okay. So we're going to replicate this clean air technology, which basically means smokeless. First, we need to have lower vents where oxygen enters. Second, the air is fed through the bottom grate where the fire is provided with enough oxygen for an efficient burn. Third, traveling upward through the double-sided walls, the air is superheated from the heat of the fire. And lastly, the fire is supplied with superheated oxygen, which ignites and burns any particulates that are remaining. And ultimately, this is what we are after, the secondary burn, where this will leave your fire pit smokeless. For this project, you need 36 wall stones. I got these stones from Lowe's for around $90. Start by stacking 12 stones side by side into a circle for the first row. How's that look?
Good.
Look good?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. This is going to be a 3-tier fire pit. When you are satisfied with how it looks, mark the area around the circle slightly larger than the fire pit. Then remove the stones.
You don't like rocks?
I like rocks. Alright, so now we just gotta level the soil. Okay, so I'm about 3 to 4 inches down. I'm gonna add a layer of paver base and then I'm gonna tamp it down. Actually, I'm gonna tamp it down first, add a layer of paver base, and then tamp that down again. After tamping the soil, add the paver base or the paver sand. I'm using paver sand because I have a lot left from the previous project. Tamp down the sand. Wetting it may help. Use a straight edge to get the paver sand as level as possible. Lay the first stone and try to get this stone to level as best as you can, because the rest of the stone will follow this piece. Do your best to keep them lined up, but you'll probably have to do a little adjusting. Now for this smokeless fire pit to work and keeping it as simple as possible, you'll need this specific fire ring. This segmented fire ring comes in 4 pieces, but it is super easy to put together. I'll leave a link below for you to check out the specs. The cost is $76 on Amazon. As you can see, this fire ring is the perfect pairing for this setup. In order to make the smokeless fire pit, the ring has to leave room around the stones to create a chamber where air is superheated as it rises within the walls. Another reason why the ring is perfect for this particular setup is that the top flange caps the air so it doesn't escape at the top, but rather through the holes that I'll be adding to the ring later in this video. To let oxygen enter, we have to create some vents, and to do that you can simply remove 1 or 2 stones. I removed just 1 stone to create 3 vents. Each vent will measure around 1/3 of the stone. Again, you have to play around with the orientation of the stones. Put the fire ring on to make sure it looks good before stacking the second layer. When you are satisfied with the second layer, add on the last layer. The stones are very heavy and they do not move easy. and adding the fire ring will help hold everything together. Okay guys, there are gaps between the fire ring and the base. So what we need to do is create that chamber. So we need to seal this off. All right, still leaves that open, but seal the rest. The best way I find to do that is they sell these miniature blocks. So these are the bigger one, and these are the minis. So we would just stack them around this fire pit, and that should create a chamber. So let's see how that goes. How about that? See those gaps? They line up with the holes. That's where the oxygen comes in. Ooh, this looks good. What do you think, Kula?
Yeah, it looks good.
You think that looks good?
Yeah.
All right. There are still small gaps here, so adding lava rocks will help seal that some more. Try to keep the rocks from going into the vents. Okay guys, so we do a side-by-side comparison. Tonight we'll burn the fire without the holes in the insert. Tomorrow I'll remove the insert and I'll put some holes in it, and we'll see the difference. And here's a time lapse of the regular fire pit.
The next day.
To add the secondary burn holes, I drill a small pilot hole, each one spaced out 2 inches, before using the step bit to enlarge the holes to 1/2 inch. This is probably the most tedious part of the build. It doesn't help to use a cheap step bit either. I think it's totally worth it to invest in a good quality one. And also, it helps to get some penetrating oil. This is the step bit I got from Lowe's, and it is 1/2 inch and meant to drill through I-beams. Add some penetrating oil, and this will help chew through the metal like butter. Make sure to sand down all the sharp edges. File and spray paint with heat-resistant paint. I put 10 holes in each section of the fire ring. And this is the time lapse of the smokeless fire pit. Notice how the flames are kept in the metal, probably by the escaping oxygen coming through the secondary burn hole. You see occasions where the flames would blow in one direction, and that's due to the fact that we have some high winds that night. So at the end, the fires had gotten too big for my comfort. I'm a California boy after all, and I'm not used to having such a big fire. So I moved it to the side. And here are some slow-mo of the secondary burn in action. And I'm sure it would be all around if I had made a huge fire, but I'm kind of intimidated. Finally, here you can see that the 1200 degree heat paint burning off. That tells me that this fire is much hotter than that. I think this concept of a smokeless fire pit worked pretty well. We didn't notice any smoke except at the beginning when the fire was first lit. I think the mission has been accomplished. And that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.